First of all, screw your ex. Wait a second. No. No, don't do that. Actually, wait, maybe. The reason why you're here is because you're going through a breakup. And I know breakups suck, but the hardest part is the in-between phase. You know, this limbo period where we are trying to heal from a past relationship that broke our heart into being okay and to finding new love. That whole phase can almost feel like an annoyance because of the time that it takes. So here are 7 ways to get over your ex and back to the better version of yourself. Let's talk about it. So let's get number 1 right out of the way, because while screwing your ex isn't an awful idea, I'll leave that one up to you. Time. It just takes time. And it takes a lot of it. I know you already know this, and it's self-explanatory even though it's a hard thing to understand. Time just allows us to have these moments in our lives to experience emotions, experience new things, new people, and eventually the memories may not be gone, but they will fade. The pain won't hurt as much. The smell won't be as strong. The thought of them won't pop up every time you see something that reminds you of them. And it just takes time.
Everything okay?
Why are you wearing a hat now?
Guys, come on. I'm on a date. Let me do my thing.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me.
But I don't think people talk about the things not to do during this time. So allow this to be a list in a list. A, drinking. Yeah, I know, it makes the thoughts go away. Sometimes it could just take off the edge. It makes the pain go away for a moment, but alcohol is just a depressant. And while it's a distraction, and inevitably some nights may get really fun, the mornings are never fun. B, don't stalk your ex on socials. Yes, I know you claim that the breakup was mutual. I get it. And that you're mature and you're just checking in and that'll help you. But in reality, it's just tricking your brain because it's thinking that it's gratification seeing someone you used to love and liking that photo, trying to convince yourself that you're okay. When you're not. And C, don't talk to them. The no contact rule, it's a thing. Because again, you're just tricking yourself into thinking that it's going to work out in some way or on some day. But it won't. And you need to move on. But now that I got that tough love out of my system, back to the list of things to do to get over your ex. 2, replace instead of remember. I feel like I need a disclaimer here. I'm not trying to get you to erase your memories with your ex. I'm just trying to help you to move on. And one way to do that is to replace a task, a thought, or a feeling instead of trying to remember it. To get a little bit more personal here, when I went through my breakup, I found myself not going into Starbucks anymore because that's where we always went to get coffee. It's basic, but yeah, Starbucks. The massive chain, the Starbucks that's on every friggin' corner, that is worldwide. It sounds stupid to not go there, but it was really hard for me. I was depriving myself of a pumpkin spice latte during the fall, and it was just time to change that. Instead of avoiding the coffee shop altogether, I started ordering a new drink. I started by going with a friend. I started replacing instead of allowing myself to stop and just remembering. And what it did was it gave me almost like a jump ahead in the time category, because some of these memories that were once stuck in my head as negative ones are not gone, but they're now just being blended in together with all the new and positive ones. Honestly, it's just safe to say that I spend way too much money on coffee now, but hey, that's why I made a coffee hoodie. Merch coming soon. But now let's go on to number 3. It's time to get back out there. Just like replace instead of remember, when you think about dating, you now associate it with getting your heart broken, which isn't great, but it's a valid feeling because honestly, if you were to ask me about dating, I would think the same thing. And I'm currently in a relationship going on 5 years, but that is just because we're human and new things scare us, especially when we have negative experiences to go off. But that's exactly why you need to balance out the negative with the neutral. And when I say neutral, I mean, go on a date, make it casual. Don't go all in. You're not ready for that yet. Which I get that you're probably thinking that it's kind of rude to date if you're not all in. But is it? In reality, dating is about falling in love with someone in their true self, and their true self is casual. I want you to still make the dates meaningful so that they remain memorable, like you're doing your favorite things or going to a place that means a lot to you. But don't go on a date thinking it's a fairy tale and you need to wow every single person, because you're going to get drained, and more often than not, the date won't lead to your forever person. Which does sound sad, now that I say it out loud, but you don't want every date to lead to something. Otherwise, it wouldn't be special. So use this time to find out like what you like, who you like, where you want to go, what makes you comfortable, uncomfortable, because ultimately, you're a different person now. You're a different person than who you once were. You love differently, you break differently, and time has passed and you have aged differently. Just date. And just don't expand on this anymore. Just take what I said as it is. Number 4, find some hobbies. No. Netflix does not count. Sitting on the couch and watching Netflix does not count. I said it here first. No. The best way to meet people, maybe get that date that I talked about, but mainly just to find new friends and replace the negative energy in your body, is joining a club. Not the ones you used to go to when you were underage and drinking. The ones that you used to hate when you see them like running on the side of the road. And when you hear someone talk about it and you want to make fun of them. Yeah, those. Run clubs, book clubs, poetry clubs, pottery clubs. And they don't even need to be like clubs necessarily. It could just be going to the gym or a library or a museum and being surrounded by like-minded people. I joined a run club. Yeah, I was in the club like taking up the whole entire sidewalk or even a road. And I always left the run feeling motivated, feeling uplifted, and feeling more like myself than ever because I was with people who valued the same things as me. At the end of the day, we're looking for love, we're looking for clubs, we're looking for friends just to feel validated and like we belong. And the benefit there is just called community. And having that means you have family. And the moment that you realize that life can't be done alone means that you understand that you are stronger when we do it together. 5, write about them. This is quite niche. I understand that. And for me, I write a lot of poetry and a lot of short form writing, which I don't expect everyone to relate to, but I do believe that everyone can write. Now this is the ad portion of the video that's sponsored by Notability, but I feel like it doesn't really feel like an ad to me because I absolutely love this app. Notability is a note-taking app that's on my iPad that I use every single day. A lot of my ideas I just write down here, and I understand there is an iPhone notes app that I still use, but Notability is for the moments where I feel like I want to put a pen to paper. Because if I write it in my notes app, it's just a thought that just ends up getting lost in the junkyard of notes. And on the topic of this video, you could use this to write a letter to your ex. Normally people do that and then burn it, but I don't really recommend doing that. It could be cool. Don't do that. But the reason I like Notability better than a regular notebook or my notes app is because I can write in it, and I can't do that on my notes app on my phone. It also has unlimited pages, so I don't have to go out and buy an overpriced journal. And then when I feel stuck, I have templates, stickers, highlighters, and everything all in one, so well, I don't get stuck. My thought doesn't get lost. It begins. So let's say you're like 1 year down the line and you forgot about your ex, or maybe you were going through a new breakup. Your writing in Notability is searchable. Yeah, even the chicken scratch writing. So then you can search it up, or a letter to my ex, and you can remember why you broke up with them in the first place. The app is free, but if you would like the pro version, which is normally $15 a year, yeah, a year, not a month, a year, 15 bucks a year. They were kind enough to give me a discount code for you for 50% off, which is nuts. It's like, why not try it? So I'll leave the link down below, and I promise it will help and you'll love it. Now back to the list, number 6. I am not ashamed to say that I do go to therapy. And I'm not at a point in my life where I'm broken or I'm needing to be fixed. I go to therapy because I just want to be better. I want to understand more. But if you're struggling to move on, or maybe the situation with your ex was a little bit more serious than any of the topics that I have discussed in this video, then I definitely recommend therapy. I'll always recommend therapy. It can do wonders, and even if it isn't something alarming, but you just want to talk about it, therapy is wonderful for that. Talking about situations just allows us to process the conflict and resolve it on our end so that we can move forward. I know it can be overwhelming to go to therapy. Oh my God, yeah, I know. It's obvious that there are things that you can talk about, but how do you bring them up? I used to think things and then forget about it. So that's where Notability actually really helps me here. And I can write all my notes and all my prompts down for therapy. But here are a few prompts that I use when I go to therapy sessions. So I use these when I want to bring up topics that are hard to talk about. Because when we're sitting there and we're all like, we're either angry, we're sad, we're frustrated, we're anxious, all of the above, how can we remember those thoughts? That's when writing it down really helps. So a few of my prompts are, I get anxious when. I don't feel loved when I'm told I love you by my ex. Yeah, that's a hard one. And lastly, how do I know I'm over someone when I can't stop thinking about them? These are specific, but I just recommend writing them down. Every thought that comes to your mind, just write it down before a session. It's going to make it worthwhile instead of paying way too much and forgetting what you wanted to talk about. And I'm so proud of you because you've made it to the end of this video. Number 7, create your own closure. Everyone just seems to be so obsessed with getting closure after a breakup. And I understand, you could be blindsided, it could just come out of nowhere, you could really not understand. But I think you do. I think you really do understand. I think you're just making that up so you feel better about your own pain. But the breakup is closure. The way that they left you is closure. The way that they treated you is closure. Closure just tends to be what we search for when we are looking for validation. But the reality is, closure is the hard truth that you've already been going through. It's not something new. And getting your ex to create a pity story so that you feel bad for them is not closure. Because that's going to happen. They're going to make you feel bad. They're going to make you feel like it's all your fault. And you deserve better than that. So it's time to wrap it up. This is the part of the video where I'm supposed to make you feel better about yourself. But what I actually want to do is, that sounds like I'm going to make you feel bad. What I actually want to do is for you to accept the feelings that you are dealing with. That's the goal of this video. Whether you are a week, a month, or a year since your breakup, I want you to process what you are feeling before trying to get out of it all, trying to move on. These little moments, even though they are hard, they are shaping you to be someone who is strong, who is independent. And maybe that is something that you haven't felt in a while. So maybe you feel weak, alone, and down in the dumps. But when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. I'll talk to you next time. Stay you, Jay.